themselves. And yeah, I've just been, maybe a little critical on myself, but I've been harvesting it. You got either let the pain fuel you or you got to fuel the pain. So I'm letting it fuel me, and it's been powerful, but it's been crazy, man. Yeah.
And let's talk about your rap style. And at what age, I want to know, did you actually start rapping? Because your father passed away. I think you were 6 years old
Yeah.
at the time. And at what point after that did you say, I want to pick up the mantle and start rapping?
It's funny, like it was shortly after that. Like I don't know if it was me. I try to go back and assess like my mind as a 6-year-old and how I like was perceiving the world. But like immediately after that, I was like, oh, like I wanna try to write raps. And my first rap that I wrote was like hella trash. It was like, you dummy, dummy. Like I was rhyming dummy with tummy and shit. Like I was a kid, like, you know what I mean? So but it was one of those situations where, like, every little kid wants to be something, like an astronaut or a superhero or a fireman. Like, but imagine, like, you said you wanted to be an astronaut, and it just so happened your dad was like, the leader of NASA, and everyone around you was like, fuck it, yeah, be an astronaut at 6 years old. So I just kind of got thrusted into it, and I've been writing since back then. But I would say I started taking it super, like, and as a kid I was really like into poetry and words, but I started taking the pen really seriously like right after high school, and I started rapping. Like before that, I was in the lunchroom tables rapping and penning shit, but it was more of a hobby. I made it really serious about I would say about 10 years ago, where I was really like, yo, every day I'm writing. But prior to that, I was still into it. But yeah, I would say about 10 years where I'm like, yo, like, let me put in my 10,000 hours and actually try to not be trash. You know what I mean?
Now, did you do a lot of dictionary studying? Because like the words that you use, you've heard it a million times. It's
Yeah.
like it's a lot of words, the way y'all use it. So did you study the dictionary? How'd that work?
Look, like not so directly in the sense like I wake up, make some Earl Grey tea and read 1,000 dictionary words. Like I just, I'm a nerd at heart. You know what I mean? And I've always been intrigued by words because like it may sound weird, but like I grew up broke, so I wasn't the flyest kid. I had to rely on my personality and my words. I was fat, gap tooth. I didn't dress good. I'm like, I still want to be in the cool crowd or whatever crowd. So I use my words as a fashion sense, in a sense. Like it was like how I articulated myself was how people present themselves, like with their clothing. So I always try to use different words. And when I heard a word that I didn't know, or I would be watching things, I would always research it, learn it. And it's just certain things that naturally stuck with me. And it took a while to take your speaking vocabulary and mix it with your rapping vocabulary, because there's a lot of really articulate dudes or females that are rappers, but their music doesn't sound like they're articulate at all, and it's because those aren't automatically meshed. Like, so it took a while to just combine them, and I naturally speak like this too. So I don't know, man. I think it was just natural. I'm really into it, so I guess it just helps that I'm a nerd about it, because yeah, I just like words. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind taking us a walk through your childhood, if you may, because obviously you're the son of Big Pun, and you were somebody from the outside looking in will go, damn, yeah, he lived a great life, something different than your father. You know what I'm saying? But then you just said you grew up broke, which is shocking to some people. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, shortly after he passed, he was the breadwinner of the family, and due to some business dealings or whatever it is, yeah, we didn't really profit or make any real money off of him after he passed. And prior to that, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that whether we was trying to uphold, whether it be the house or different things, and everything just kind of crumbled in on itself, and we was just figuring it out. So after a few years, I would say, like maybe I was around 8, 9 years old, we lost a house that he was building when he died. And then after that, yeah, we was, homeless for a bit. So we was, house hopping between my grandmother's crib, my cousin's crib, and, friends' houses, etc. And there's always been that misconception. Like I used to read on World Star, like comments about like, yeah, like he has a Lexus or a Rolls, and he's in school with, like, I'm just reading. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, like I'm broker than most of my friends. Like I was the one that didn't have clothes or food to eat. You know what I mean? So it was it's always that misconception. And I think people have that, and then sometimes people will judge me off of it prior. Like they'll think I'm like an asshole or really like dismissive, or how like a high society snob. Like I don't know what it is, but then they'll meet me, and and I appreciate that, because I like being estimated to that degree that you actually get to know me. And I'm humble and down to earth, and I appreciate what poverty had taught me. You know what I mean? Obviously, everyone would love to grow up with stability and with financial security, but at the same time, being broke or going through certain, trials and tribulations, it humbles you, and it allows you to become stronger, and it builds up that hustle mentality. So you know, I'm appreciative of it. But yeah, we was like that for a while, in and out of shelter. You know, we got ourselves on our feet relatively. You know what I mean? And then after I started pursuing music and you know, just being real smart. They don't teach you finances, at least the minorities. They don't teach you what to do with money, how to make money, how to put it in the right places, how to properly save, how to do all this stuff. And a lot of that knowledge was gone, a lot of that structure was gone. So we, you know, we had to raise ourselves, and you know, we figured it out.
How was your feelings towards Fat Joe? Because I know I was interviews probably like 2013, 2012. You sat down, you did an interview. You said, "Look, I don't have no resentment for Fat Joe, but you know, other people in your family and other people around it say, you know, Fat Joe didn't take care of your father and your family like the way he was supposed to do it." How do you feel as a kid growing up, and now how do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird, but I've always been like, you know, I think that we're born with nothing. You know what I mean? I do firmly believe that we're born with nothing. I can't speak on his mentality or what he was supposed to do or what he should. I know what I would do in certain situations, and I wasn't there for every single conversation. Or, you know, I can't read his mind, and I haven't had a conversation with him to confirm anything. So, you know, I don't hold any I'm not the type of person to hold anger or resentment or anything like that. And I don't think anybody owes me anything. Like whether it's legally, that's a different conversation, or whether it's like morally inside, like I don't have any like, you know, entitlement or anything like that. Or and like the only person you're hurting when you hold grudges and when you hold anger is yourself. You know what I mean? And I could have easily grow up in my childhood blaming A, B, C, and D and feeling this and that. But like, nah, like I'm trying to pursue music. It's already been hard enough. You know, it's already hard enough pursuing entrepreneur or music career, like, and trying to make it like in this game where most people, like, you know, 99.9% of people don't make it. So at the same time combating, you know, generational curses, and at the same time combating, you know, misconceptions and all this inherited problems from this side and people, you know what I mean? So like, I just like, yo, let me just steer clear of it. I don't blame, like, I'm gonna start from ground zero. I'm gonna start from nothing, and no one can say that I had any favors, or no one can say that I had a head start, and nothing like that. Like, I just, you know, started from the bottom, and I was okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, how everyone else feels, like, I'll let them speak for themselves. But yeah, me personally, like, I'm good. Like, I'm not out here trying to just have problems with people. Like, it's all good. Yeah.
Who were some of your musical influences? Who did Chris Rivers listen to growing up as a kid, musically?
Oh, definitely. You know, obviously, it's funny. My pops, I heard his music statically all the time, but I never really like dove into it until I was like 11, 12. No, mostly because I couldn't fully fathom everything that he was saying, you know, at like that age. But once I was like 11, 12, and after, like, I was grasping it, and I was really just super impressed and just like proud of it. You know what I mean? I loved Eminem a lot growing up, which is probably bad for like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old listening to the LPs talking about, you know, raping his mom and murdering shit. Like, I'm just craziness. And it's just like, but there was a lot of like Sing for a Moment, like certain songs that really, you know, touched you. So I was really into rock music at the time, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Linkin Park, Papa Roach, like different stuff like that. I love Andre Three Stacks, you know, Black Thought. Let's see. I was a big Michael Jackson listener when his projects came out. Like, I was really into music in general. So like, yeah, I had a lot of different types of influences, and yeah, man, like I didn't just stick with like hip hop, though I do hip hop, like, and I write that way, but I had a lot of external influences. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And I love Lupe Fiasco. He's definitely my top.
Yeah.
I always try to mention because I feel like he's so underrated in the craft. And the Cool, I'll never forget it, because the Cool, I was in high school at the time, and I was kind of underwhelmed with hip hop at that time. So I was mostly listening to rock music. And when the Cool came out, that really got me back. Like, that's probably why I really got into rap, because I was like, yo, like, this dude is expressing himself in a way that's different than the norm. And he's being so creative and fearless, and the bars and the stories. It was, I don't know if y'all remember the Cool, but it was crazy. And I love him too. He's amazing.
Shout out to Lupe.
Yeah.
Fear of My Crown, your video. When I seen the video come out, you know, I think I did a story. I don't think I posted it, but I talked about it, and it was something you had to get off your chest, obviously. Could you take the people through the process of Fear of My Crown and what that symbolized to you and what that meant in your life?